As you probably already know if you clicked on this video, this is Fall Guys, and today we're going to exploit this fun, wholesome game using artificial intelligence. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to show you how complex the programs you can create free with Python and FastAI. And also, I want to highlight some of the ways that people are getting around anti-cheating engines to help stop it in the future. Please like and share this video with the creator, Mediatonic of Fall Guys, and I will share every line of code I have here and help them prevent future hacks like this. Let's jump right in. The plan is simple. The first thing we need to do is avoid Fall Guys' new anti-cheating system. Now, all that means basically is we're going to have to make this very human-like and not actually exploit the internal workings of the game itself. You've seen cheats like these where they're actually changing the behavior of the game. Those are going to get banned and flagged very quickly moving forward with this new anti-cheat system. Our system is going to work off of my own training data of me actually playing the game, so it's going to play identically to how a human, with one big difference. We're going to erase the memories when I mess up or I don't qualify, so hopefully it'll be actually better than I am at playing the game. So how are we going to get the training data? Well, basically I'm going to have a Python script that runs in the background and takes screenshots of the game screen itself, like you can see here. I'm also going to save the data about what keys I'm pushing. Now, to simplify this, I'm going to have my agent always moving forward no matter what, so just pedal to the metal during the whole game. The only keys I'm going to have it decide between doing are moving left, moving right, or jumping. There is a grab as well and a dive, but we're going to leave that out for now because I think I can qualify without using those buttons at all. Because we're going to train on the 3 races: DoorDash, Gate Crash, and Hit Point. When we take the screenshot, we're also going to save the key. So for example, in this image here, you can see that there's a pendulum that's going to come and sweep players off. So here I might be pushing left to get a little closer to the edge and avoid that pendulum. So we're going to save the image data as well as the keystroke. However, this image is pretty complicated for a neural network. We're going to simplify it a lot. For example, the colors don't mean anything to our neural network, so we're going to go ahead and wipe those colors out. And then as we look at this image, the textures and things like that don't really matter to us either. For example, you can see that the pendulum ball is still 2 shades of gray. So we're going to simplify that image even farther and get just the line. Now, if you look at this image, you might think, well, we went too far. We've lost too much data here. But I want to point out a couple of things of why this is going to work for us. You can see here that we still have the edge of the platform we're standing on, and we still have the outline of the pendulum that we're trying to avoid. This is giving our network just enough data to make an informed decision. So this is the final image that we're going to go with, except for resizing. We're also going to resize this to be 224 pixels by 224 pixels because that is what the ResNet 18 was trained on that we're going to use, the type of network we're going to use. If you don't take anything from this video, at least watch this part where I'm going to show you how you can actually train a network quickly without a $4,000 GPU. So the first key to our success here is using Google Colab. If you've never used that, check out this video in the top right corner where I show you how to set up Google Colab for free. And the most important part about this is we can change our runtime to actually run on a shared GPU. This is going to allow us to do calculations a lot faster and things that would take you days or weeks to do on a CPU. So we're going to use FastAI in this. The first thing that I do is just to upgrade the pandas library, which is what FastAI needs. Then I install FastAI and import Drive. This is so I can grab my data off of Google Drive. So I've actually loaded all the images that we saved from our last section to Google Drive, and now I'm going to train on that data. Then here I just mount my Google Drive. Here you can see I'm using kind of Linux commands here to actually list out all the data that's in my content folder. In there, I'm going to grab a tarball that I made of all the data, and I can decompress all that to actually use this data. Now here's where the FastAI comes in. Basically, I'm going to point at that directory, and then I'm going to load that all into a data loader. Now the only thing that I'm doing for a labeling function is I'm going to label it the parent directory's name. So what that means, if you look at the data folder on my hard drive itself, you can see that I have all the images separated into folders of what you're supposed to do: jump, left, do nothing, or right. And then each one is an individual image. You can see here, this one is jump. So what this is doing, it's telling the network the answer to the image itself. So this image means you should jump. This image means you should go right or left, so on and so forth. Then I simply print out the data loader. You can see here I have 3,400 images. And here I just print out a sample batch. So this is just showing some loaded in data so you can make sure nothing's going wrong. Here we're making a sort of important choice. We're loading in that data loader from before, and we're using a ResNet 18 neural network. Now this network has already been trained to categorize images that have nothing to do with what we're doing here. However, it still has learned some things from training on those classification images, right? It still learned how to pick up edges and features and different things along that. So we're going to use that pre-trained network as a starting point. Now FastAI has some really cool tools in here, like a learning rate finder where you can kind of pick a good learning rate. And then down to the bread and butter here, we're actually going to train this network down in this section here. You can see that I'm using a method called fine tune. So essentially it's just going to train the later layers of the network and leave the original layers alone. And that's because those original layers are doing simple tasks like finding edges and different things like that we don't need to retrain it on. Now the crazy part about this is you can see that I only had 3,000 images. So it's only taking me like 20 seconds on each of these on a free cloud GPU that anybody can use. This confusion matrix will show you what your network is getting wrong. Here you can see 28 times it guessed jump correctly and 5 times it guessed it incorrectly and did nothing. So you can get a little more data back from your network there as well. Now what this is all showing us is, or what I'm trying to show in this is how little data we need to actually get a functioning neural network. Now this isn't going to be anything crazy right now. We could keep gathering data and make this network as crazy as we wanted, but I wanted to show you how quickly we could get up and running. So I only trained this network on like 8 games of it watching me play Fall Guys. So now let's actually get in and check out the neural network and see how it performed. So I'm going to show you something here that might surprise you that I took the time to do. One thing you always want to do when you're creating an AI or a bot or whatever it is you want to have some sort of a baseline to compare it against. For example, if I wanted to create an AI bot that played Fall Guys and I ran it a simulation 100 times with my trained agent that I thought was awesome, right? And it ended up qualifying 10% of the time. Is that good? I have no idea. What a baseline gives us is a number to compare it to. So what I did here is I ran a completely random agent to see how it performed. So I had kind of a baseline to stack it up against. Basically what I was asking here is if I just randomly, if I go forward all the time, just like my agent's gonna do, and randomly choose to go left, right, or jump, could it ever qualify? And I won't make you watch many of these videos. I did several tests and they were all horrific. I don't know that I ever got past a third through any level, but it did confirm to me that a simply random agent is never going to be able to qualify. So we can start finding success if we can qualify at least once. We'll at least know we're on the right path. It may not be great, it may not be something that we want to show to the world, but we at least know we're headed in the right direction. I won't make you guys watch any more of this video of the completely random agent. He is hilarious. So what we have here, I filmed my screen and I'm gonna do a cast a little bit later that I filmed myself so you can see that I'm not playing the game or anything like that. But what I did was you can see that I've loaded up my learner there in the bottom corner. You can see that it loaded up and I had a separate AI for each level depending on what level I was playing. So here I'm playing Hit Parade. So I loaded up the Hit Parade learner and I'm going to run through that right now. So this is a fully automated AI that's playing this level. You can see that already it's starting to correct itself when it gets a little off the beaten path. And it immediately starts turning and going for the door as well. hugs the edge just like I kind of do in my play style, which makes sense. And beelines it straight up the path here. Now this was actually my first run. I'm gonna show you a run after that I recorded myself in my office here while the AI was playing. Got a gate crash here. So I'm gonna load up our gate crash learner. I got a learner for each AI. I'm swapping them out manually right now, just testing out the program a little bit. You can see this it's loaded in my gate crash learner. Now I'm going to press one key to start it. So I'm just going to press B, which I've set up to start the algorithm playing the game. It's going to play like me. And I tend to move forward as much as possible, not wasting a whole lot of movement. So it should kind of do the same thing here. It's still having some trouble getting stuck. Let me get through here. Good jump. Line up. Buddy, get over there. Get up. Yeah! It'll stop the algorithm. Again, right now, it's really, I've trained on a total of 8 games, I think, is all it's played. So it's still learning its way and kind of figuring out its movements right now. If we really dug into this and trained on 60 games or something like that, you'd really start to see some really good behaviors happen. Right now, it's still a little sketchy. This was a fun project. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. If you could, please subscribe and like this video. Join our Discord if you'd like to chat with me live. I'm probably online right now. And until next time, keep coding.